So, Jehan, we were just talking about the price action on Bitcoin there, 48,400 right now. So it is falling, but we've been here before, haven't we? So what's your longer term outlook for here?
I think that we're going to be seeing Bitcoin rebound. Of course, correction is normal in our space. There are only two rules in crypto. One is that the price will go up and down, but the second rule is in the long term, the price will always go up. We've seen this over and over again in 2014 and 15. We saw it in 2017 and 18. And I think this is what we're seeing again. We expect Bitcoin to be reaching levels around 100,000 around Q3, latest Q4.
How about other assets that are related to cryptocurrencies? We do have a chart here on the Bloomberg terminal that indicates that Bitcoin's decline is being felt elsewhere as well in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency related equities. So where do you see the action regards this space in terms of Asian crypto stocks?
As far as crypto stocks, I think that with the Coinbase listing, they really paved the way for a number of public listings. I think that there's incredible public market appetite for blockchain and crypto associated stocks. And I think we're going to see a number of amazing companies coming to market in the coming months. Things like some of the largest financial providers in the blockchain space, like BlockFi and exchanges like Kraken, and potentially exchanges like blockchain.com. These are all some of the giants of the space, and we do expect them to come to market and really help to both stoke and encourage that public market appetite to get exposure to blockchain aside from Bitcoin.
We have seen a lot of appetite for non-fungible tokens as well, but NFTs now tumbling. Where do you see this going?
Yeah, NFTs I think are amazing, and they're not as well understood as I think people think. Prices have been dipping, and I think this correction is very normal in any emerging art market. We saw this in the Chinese contemporary and Asian contemporary art market in around 2010. There is going to be a correction. Things were overbought, the quality wasn't there. But now I think what we're seeing is a return to a floor of value, a floor of belief and understanding of what NFTs are as artworks and as content. I think that artists like Beeple, who is the most famous and most well-known and most expensive NFT artist in the world, we're going to see him continue to rise while others fall, simply because he is so well-known and has established himself as the poster child, as really the vanguard of this new paradigm of art. He has a new drop coming this weekend, I believe, on Nifty Gateway. And that will be a real test for everybody in the world to see, do NFT artists really hold up to the hype? And I think that with Beeple's new drop, we'll see that the answer is yes.
What about regulatory concerns? Because it seems that's one of the reasons that led the latest wave of selling. With the U.S. Treasury, not to mention just different countries now talking about more regulation and perhaps even their own digital currencies. Long term, how can you be so optimistic about where the crypto is headed?
Regulation is not new in crypto, and I think to many of the regulators' credit, especially here in Hong Kong with the SFC and in the U.S. with the SEC, people like Commissioner Hester Pierce, who have been very, very not only aggressive, but engaged in terms of thoughtful regulation, have been doing their best to recognize the value of crypto, the value of the industry, the number of jobs that it creates globally, and especially in developing countries, that crypto thoughtfully regulated can be a net positive for the world. Regulation has been being developed for years now. And I think we're just really starting to come to maybe a good point or a golden age of crypto regulation, where it's assumed that this is happening, and we just all want to find safe ways to trade, safe ways to store, safe ways to build businesses where innovation is not stifled, and at the same time the consumer is protected.
In terms of innovations, I know you're watching something called Handshake. Can you explain to us what that is and why you're watching it?
Handshake is one of the most exciting innovations, and personally, I like to say that Handshake is one of the only cryptos that could potentially be bigger than Bitcoin. Handshake is a decentralized domain name, which allows you to basically own, instead of owning .com and having to rent that out from the GoDaddies of the world, Paul.com, you can actually own .pol, and you could be your own business. You could rent out, or you could sell things like computer.pol or storefront.pol. And this ability to gain control of the top level space of the internet, the domain name space of the internet, is an incredible paradigm shift, which will affect everything from censorship to decentralized delivery of content, and I think will be the new architecture for the internet to come. So stay tuned for Handshake. I think the prices have been dipping along with everything else, so I think it's an incredible opportunity.
Well, thanks for the flattery, Jehan, though I am pretty niche. But I did want to talk about another frontier for NFTs, and that's gaming. What do you see happening in that space?
NFT gaming is growing leaps and bounds. I think, over maybe a year or two ago, you didn't have any of the large players in the space looking at it. Now it seems like every single one of them is developing a blockchain play. We're investors in a company called Forte, Forte, who's really at the forefront of pioneering blockchain and crypto assets inside of existing games. They work with over 25 to 30 existing publishers, game publishers, who have tens of millions of users, and they're enabling them to build crypto and crypto assets into their ecosystem. So imagine that you could be playing your favorite game on your mobile, and it wouldn't be a crypto game per se, but you would be able to buy a sword, and you would be able to literally own that sword. You could transfer it, you could sell it, and you wouldn't be beholden to the game platform itself to say, yes, you can do this, no, you cannot do that. Sovereign ownership of virtual assets is coming, and I think companies like Forte are leading the charge.